my name is Kylie, and this is my lamb Yorkie. I will be taking Yorkie to the fair in May. I've had her for about a month, and I'm going to take you guys through the way that I teach my lamb to walk, to set up, and the way that I move around my lamb, depending on where the judge is standing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to take you through is walking. So first, what I do is I need to gain my lamb's trust. So I will sit in her pen with her for the first probably about a week, and I'll just try to get her to trust me. I'll put her food bucket in my lap or try to feed her out of my hand, and that way she knows I'm not trying to hurt her. And then I'll start trying to catch her, and once she's okay with me catching her, I will practice walking around just in the pen. And that way if she gets away from me, it's okay. There's no problem with that. I'll just re-catch her. And after she starts walking pretty well in her pen, I'll take her out with me around while I do my morning chores. And this really helps you gain your trust because she's walking around in new places with you. You're the only familiar thing that she knows, and she really starts to trust you. After that, I'll start practicing walking her like a show lamb. So that's with my left hand underneath her chin and my right hand behind her head. And I'll push her a little bit with the hand on her back of the head, and I'll just walk with her. And after doing this for a while, you want her to get really, really smooth with this. And so she should trust you and walk real easily, just like that. And then you can practice turning and stopping and just get her used to it and get a lot of practicing. And once she starts really getting good at this, you want to switch sides. So during your show, you're going to be switching side to side on your lamb. And so getting her used to walking on both sides, getting her used to you walking on both sides of her is really good. So now that she's walking pretty well, I'm going to ask my mom to step in, and she will pretend to be my judge, and I'll show you how you should move around your lamb as they're walking. So if she's the judge, you always want to pretend like the arena is like a sandwich. So I'm a piece of bread and she's a piece of bread, and my lamb is the middle of the sandwich. And so every time you walk around, if the judge is there and the judge asks you to turn around, instead of turning around like this, and now you see there's two pieces of bread on the inside and my innards are on the outside, instead you want to turn your lamb towards you and then continue moving. And that will keep you on the other side of your lamb. And so you'll do that both.
So can we practice that again?
So you'll turn around just like that. There we go. And one more time. Turn around like this. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll move on. So the next part that I'm going to take you through is setting up my lamb. So the setting up has two parts to it. We'll first go through putting the feet into placement, and then we'll go into what we call bracing. So first is placing the feet. So what I do is in the first week, I'll touch my lamb all over when I'm getting her used to me, and especially get down at the legs, both the front and the back, and the belly. Those are some sensitive spots that the lambs usually really don't like. But for setting up their feet, you need to be able to touch all of those parts. So to set up your feet, you're going to run your hand down all the way down to the bottom of their foot, and then you'll just lift it up and set it down. And you want to do this a lot so they get used to it. You don't have to even move the feet in the beginning. Just pick it up and set it down so they get used to that. Once they're good at that, you can then start picking it up and moving it to where you need it. So what you want your lamb to look like is you want their feet to be what we call square. So my lamb, I'm going to put this foot kind of in front of that back foot so that it looks like she only has one front leg. And same with the back feet. Now, depending on your lamb's conformation, that will depend on how far apart the front and back legs will be. We can go over that in a later video, or ask your lamb leader if you're in 4-H, and they could probably tell you a bit on that too. So here, I'll just set up her back legs same way. And again, this is where touching him a lot will help. There we go. And so that's kind of what you want their feet to look like. Okay, so the next part of setting up is bracing. So bracing is when you're gonna put some pressure on your lamb's chest here, and they should then push into you, and that will pop the muscles in their back, rump, and belly. That'll just show off how much muscle they have to the judge. Now, to do that, like I said, you're gonna set their legs up, and then you're going to add some pressure with this front leg into their chest. You can start with a little bit of pressure, and then as you practice more, you can go on to more and more pressure, and they'll push into you better. So here, I'll push into her, and you can kind of see her pushing into me. And if your lamb doesn't do that, I'll show you how to fix that. So if your lamb is having trouble bracing, what you can do is get a wall or a fence. I have a fence here. And what you'll do is you'll back them up really close to the fence. And when you start pushing into them and they start walking backwards, they'll run into the fence and realize, oh wait, I can't go anywhere. So then they'll usually start pushing into you. And that's what you're really looking for. So sometimes they might even jump, and that's totally normal. Just kind of go with it. But you can kind of see your bracing now, especially a lot more. Okay, so the last thing about the bracing is how you're gonna hold your lamb's head. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make two kind of gun shapes with your fingers, and you're gonna put them right around the ears right here. Now you want to leave your other 3 fingers curled around, because that neck, or the judge really wants to see the neck. So just your 2 pointer fingers should be wrapped around the back of the neck. And with this, you want to be careful with the angle of the nose too. You want to make sure it's level. You don't want to stick your lamb's nose in the air. That will be uncomfortable for the lamb, and it just doesn't help a whole lot. So make sure to keep that nose level. And then a quick tip: when the judge is coming up to feel your lamb, you can lift the lamb's front feet up off the ground the slightest bit while the judge comes up to feel, and that will be that last little bit of muscle. That will give you the last little bit of extra muscle to show, and that'll really look good to the judge. Okay, so the last thing we're going to practice is moving around our lambs. So I'm going to have my mom come up again to pretend being the judge. And so here, this is where you're gonna, standing around your lamb is really important here. So depending on where the judge is standing, so go ahead, my mom's standing right behind me, the judge, and so I'm going to stay right where I am. Now if she moves, if she's on that side, so just like we talked about in the walking, you still wanna be making your sandwich. The judge needs to be on the other side of your lamb. So here, she's standing there, so I need to be here on this side of my lamb. I don't want to be here. So here, I'm standing here, and if she moves on this side, I'm going to move to this side. And you want to make it really fluid and soft. You don't want to make it all jerky and mess up your lamb. And then the last place that she might go is in front of me. So when she moves in front of me, this is where you really want to make sure the front legs are set up, and you're going to make those guns shaped with your fingers again, and they'll be right around their ears. And you're going to stand off to the side, and this will show the front end of your lamb. That way that she can see the way that the neck fits into the rest of the body and the feet, and that's really helpful for the judge to see. And so she's on that side. Now as she comes over, I need to go to the other side, but she's still in front of me. So I'm going to keep my lamb facing forward like this. There we go. Okay, and so the way that you know where to move is your lamb is kind of cut up into 4 different parts. So we have a line that comes down through the nose and out the tail. So you can, yeah, if you want to draw it, actually.
Draw it.
So just pretend that there's an imaginary line going behind her right there. And then there's also 2 coming off the shoulder here. So there's one there, and there's one on this side too. Now that splits the ground into 4 quarters. So if the judge is standing in this quarter, I need to be in this quarter. If she stands in that quarter, I need to be in this quarter. Now when she comes up, I then move off to the side and I'm almost in this quarter back here. And that will show that she's in the front. And then when she comes to the other side, you move smoothly in front of your lamb and she'll be in that quarter.
There you go.
There we go. And that just helps you know where the judge is and depending on where you move. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe and keep your eye out. We'll have some more fun animal videos coming out. We'll have, for you 4-Hers, we'll have some more showmanship videos coming out. And for anyone else, we'll have a lot of other educational videos.